We have made it to midweek. It is Wednesday here on Three Man Front. Pat Landrum, Molly Conrad, welcome into the program. So much to get into as we hit the midweek, kind of put the Florida State Alabama. We've heard from the players. We've heard from the coaches. We will have the SEC teleconference going on a little bit later this morning, so we'll see what Coach DeBoer has to say and Hugh Freeze as their teams now focus in on this next week's play. Brian Edwards will join the program at 10:45. Chris Stewart, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. We gave you some of the quotes that he said on his podcast in regards to Alabama moving forward, so we'll get it straight from him. Peter Radicus, who covers the Auburn Tigers, he will be on the program at 11:30 from AL.com. And Trey Wallace, who a week ago on this program from Outkick, he predicted that Alabama would play for the national championship. We will see if he's holding firm with that prediction.
The people who have not been following the timeline of the show need to know that Trey Wallace, when he appears on this program, big things happen. He was on this very program, on these airwaves, when a pope was announced there in Rome.
He was.
And also last week, we had the breaking news, and he said that he was taking Alabama to win a national title. Just a few days later, that happened in Tallahassee, but you still got the SEC. Everything is still in front of Alabama. So we'll find out from Trey.
That's what I've heard and read.
And we need to I'm going to give all kinds of kudos to one Brian Edwards. He was absolutely on fire in week one.
He was. He loved a lot of MAC teams, and sure enough, those MAC teams covered. They didn't win, but they covered, and that's the most important thing.
That's it.
So, yeah. We do have some time for your calls and texts at 1-800-239-WJOX. Courtesy GMC text line 205-834-9450. I do want to start with some good news this morning. We have a winner in the Total Sports Travel Auburn at Oklahoma trip.
Yes.
And that winner is Dave Hauer. So congratulations to Dave Hauer. He wins the Total Sports Travel Auburn at Oklahoma. So congratulations.
Yay. More damn Dave.
Yep. We will have an Alabama at South Carolina giveaway coming up in a couple of weeks. So keep it tuned to right here to Jox. But once again, congratulations to Dave Hauer, who wins the Total Sports Travel Auburn at Oklahoma. So,
and Dave, if you want to know what not to do in Norman, Oklahoma, give Conrad a call.
Yeah, Conrad will tell you the sights and sounds and the areas that you need to hit up.
He will give you the blueprint of what not to do that leads to a disappointing loss in that stadium and it'll be a flight home for you, but ride home for Conrad.
Don't go. I'm just kidding. It'll be a great experience.
That's not the follow-up line.
No, I'm just kidding. It's a wonderful campus. It's a wonderful stadium. And especially now it's still very new with them in the SEC. A lot of people probably haven't gotten the chance to go out there. So, no, it's a great time. The people are very nice. Just don't mention that maybe Kyler Murray didn't deserve that Heisman.
You think they honor Jackson Arnold before the game?
For their win against Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Maybe so.
I got a feeling Oklahoma, especially this week against Michigan, they're kind of moving on from the Alabama win from last year. They got a really good team this year.
We'll see how good. I mean, they look good in week one, but it's easy to look good. Who they play? Missouri State?
Well, everybody looked good in week one except two
Illinois
teams
State
in the conference.
Right.
14 of the 16 teams in the conference look good.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
I mean, Texas and Alabama, the only two that took L's on the weekend.
The only two teams from the conference that got failing grades.
Yeah.
Well,
no, they got a D. They got a D.
It depends on who you ask. Dabo's a tough grader.
He is. Well, I don't know what this means. I'm sure this was already scheduled in advance. Maybe they're trying to raise money for the $69.3 million they have to pay Kalen DeBoer if you want to fire him. But Alabama this morning announced that advertisements are going on the field at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
It's about time.
UA announced today that UA will partner with the U.S. Navy's Maritime Industrial Base Program. The logos will read Build Giants Alabama and will be featured on both 25-yard lines. The new field logos will be in place as the Tide will take the field for their first home game this weekend against Louisiana Monroe. I have not seen anything in the press release from Alabama that dictates how much money they're making off of this or not.
Who's the advertiser again?
This is the United States Navy.
Okay.
The logos will read Build Giants Alabama. It is the U.S. Navy's Maritime Industrial Base Program. I did not know what that meant, but that's what the press release says.
Should I thank them when we go up to the Naval Academy this weekend with UAB?
For helping the Alabama economy.
Thank you for keeping it in the system.
What if it had been Space Force?
That'd have been
That'd
really
be
cool.
Like after 24 hours,
Yes.
all of a sudden Space Force is the on-the-field sponsor. Unfortunately for President Trump yesterday, he forgot that Tommy Tuberville was never the head coach of the University of Alabama.
Well, it's all right. He's got a lot going on.
Well, I mean,
people conspiring across
he has
the
problems
globe.
saying, certain quarterbacks' names at the university.
I like how it finishes there.
He kind of like.
Well, he goes to like what that would be soprano almost.
Well, and you can just tell he feels like he's really saying it the right way and being fancy with it, and it's wrong.
What if that person's still working? Who wrote that?
So what did we say before? Auburn, most people say what, about $5-6 million a year?
It was somewhere
Something
in
like
the we figured out it was somewhere in the middle. So over the course of the deal, I think that I estimated it was maybe somewhere around 15 million.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
3-year deal, around $15 million.
Yeah, because the going rate, according to that, was between $2 and $6 million, and they said it was somewhere in the middle. So
In
we
the
just
middle.
assumed like
It'd be 4 or 5.
4, yeah.
Something like that. Okay. So there you go. So this weekend at Bryant-Denny Stadium, you will see the U.S. Navy's Maritime Industrial Base Program, Build Giants, Alabama, will be featured on the field on the 25-yard lines. I will tell you, and you know that I like to, for entertainment purposes only, I like to wager at times on things in sports. I would not have had the U.S. Navy's Maritime Industrial Base Program as the first ever logo on Saban Field.
No,
Did not have that.
no, I didn't either. I think it's great that they're putting it out there. But the other things that you associate with the University of Alabama, that would not have been one. But it's also for the Navy. It's good for you. Who's not going to buy your product, right? So it's not like you're alienating yourself.
No,
That's a good one to go with.
not at all. So, yeah. So good for Alabama. They need that revenue stream.
I'm surprised Tyco hasn't made an offer after the stuffed animal. Isn't it?
gosh.
Isn't that who made the Beanie Babies, Molly? Tyco? Is that it?
I thought it was just Ty.
Or Ty? Okay, maybe I added the co.
Yeah, it's
I think
just Ty.
Tyco wasn't that the old train? I don't know.
Might have been.
I don't know. But for some reason, showing up on all my social media over the last 24 hours has been a lot of Ryan Williams videos of him dancing in the Alabama locker room. Have you noticed that, Molly?
I have seen them, yes.
What is the deal? Is it because our phones are recording our conversations on the radio?
I guess so.
And
They're
now-
always listening to you.
And so now, I mean, seriously, I'm seeing a lot of videos of Ryan Williams and Alabama teammates dancing in locker rooms. I don't know when the timestamps are, and that's another thing that people are going, what are we doing here? You just lost to Florida State, and again, he's in concussion protocol. I don't think these are ones that's been taken after the loss, but they're showing up a lot on social media, and you're like going,
Well, supposedly he deleted some of his social media in the past couple of days.
I think he did.
But you saw the same thing I did.
Yeah, no, I sure did. Now, I don't know if he's the one that posted them
Or somebody else
or
did.
somebody
just
else could have. Yeah.
trying to accentuate the negatives.
So, Connor, you're telling me as an Alabama fan, you would have an issue with him dancing in the locker room after a loss to Florida State?
Yeah, I don't enjoy that. But I mean, this has been going. It's not just a Ryan Williams thing. I mean, this happened going back 3 years ago when you lost to Texas, and then you had Amari Nyblack, who ultimately would transfer to Texas. But you had him going on like Instagram or TikTok after that game and dancing in his dorm room right after you just lost it. You know, this has been going on for a while.
Maybe
It's
in
not
some
just
cases these are dances and celebration when your team loses or you play poorly, or maybe you even got hurt. You remind yourself that you have $3 million in your bank account and everything's going to be gravy when you go to class on Monday.
Maybe they're effort rituals. You know, like people do rain dances to make it rain. Maybe this is what they're doing to
Effort
get
ritual.
effort.
Wait
I
a
like
second.
that.
I want to go back to something you just said.
Yeah.
Go to class.
Well,
What's that?
log in.
Okay.
Oh.
That's okay.
Not walk in, but log in.
Okay. Now I'm with you now.
I'm sure they were there for syllabus day.
Yeah, they make them go.
I doubt it.
I don't think they do that either.
They have people that go to the
Back in
bookstore
my
and get
day,
their
that's
books
how it
for
worked.
them. They just have their books delivered to them now.
Now, Deion Sanders, he's got people following you around campus because remember, he said if you
No
show up
hoodie.
in class,
And don't
a
be
hoodie.
sagging them drawers either.
That's right.
Mm-mm.
And you better be sitting in the front of the class.
Not the
Yeah.
back.
No, go well for me or Pat.
No.
Want to be in the back, power seat.
Yep.
Back corner.
So, what is the general mood of Alabama fans, especially those that listen to this radio program, Molly? And that was our Twitter poll question of the day.
Yeah, how confident should Alabama fans be the rest of the season? We said unsure because you need to see more, not confident at all, somewhat slow progress, or very confident! Exclamation point. And right now winning with about 53% saying they're not confident at all.
So that's the Conrad.
That's his
Contingency.
burners. Yeah.
Yeah.
About 36% saying unsure, they need to see more. Only 6.3 saying somewhat, and only 5% saying they're very confident.
Your take, Conrad.
Sorry, what percent said very confident?
5.
It's 5% more than I thought there would be. But good. No, I'm glad there's people with optimism out there. See, I'm not at the point of totally, just, this team's going to be terrible for the entire season and they're going to win 6 games. I'm not at that point, but I'm certainly very unsure. I think that would be a great way to say it. Doesn't mean they can't still end up winning, 9 games or something, maybe being respectable, but that's not gonna sit well with the fan base anyways. So
yesterday we did ask the question on our poll question, and it had to do with the future of the Alabama football season. And the overwhelming audience, obviously, they voted in regards to this is going to be a very, very rough season rest of the way. I think 7 or 8 was the most wins that they had. So, we'll see what happens. It's just week 1. We have coaches all over the place tell us that the biggest improvement's going to be from week 1 to week 2. So,
hey, it's all in front of them, Pat. It's there for the taking.
Not that this is breaking news, but it is interesting. And going back to was it Dan Lanning and his comment, or that stemmed from the comment from Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State talking about how much money is being paid on this roster. Just interesting to see that LSU, after Brian Kelly's comments just a couple of years ago about defensive linemen and what he had to say about paying for them, and they were going to develop their own guys, they go out and they spend, according to people who cover that program, over $18 million. Well, it seemed to pay off in week 1 when they went on the road and knocked off Clemson. And then you start looking at some of these other teams and what they were able to do with NIL through the transfer portal. Just wonder how much of that continues to play out here, especially in the early part of the season. The people that went out of their way to spend a good bit, as opposed to the people who brought back a lot of continuity and guys that produced on their roster from the season ago, i.e. Clemson.
Yeah, and I think the matchup
Alabama
was different, right? But you heard the Southern Miss coach after the Mississippi State game say, well, they spent $50 million on their defensive line or on the trenches. We can't compete with that. And so you look at that again and you go, Mississippi State spending that much money on the trenches? Then what's Alabama doing if you're not, if you're not in that same sort of arena or that same sort of ballpark? But hey, as we heard, right, they wanted to double down on the guys they had and keep the continuity, and that's normally a good thing, but maybe in this case, a couple new faces would have been a good call.
Well, as we know, the Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Trane cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand for 11 consecutive years, and they're the official cooling partner here at Jox. So go and find a comfort specialist near you at Trane.com.
oh, surprise, surprise. Some football player, NCAA, they want more time. They want 5 years now, 5, to be eligible. We'll tell you what's going on up in Nashville because, surprise, surprise, he is representing Vanderbilt football players looking for that 5th year of eligibility. We'll tell you what that's all about and see if there's any leg room whatsoever for that to become reality. That's next on 3 Man Front. Well, the NCAA has been on quite a winning streak as of late. There have been multiple players around the country that have sued the NCAA looking for additional years of eligibility. Well, yesterday, 2 Vanderbilt football players and former and current college athletes filing a class action lawsuit against the NCAA, challenging eligibility rules that allow athletes only 4 years of participation over a 5-year period at a school. The antitrust complaint filed in the U.S. District Court in Nashville says the NCAA restrict opportunities for athletes to earn money during their time in college. How many times have we heard this? The latest lawsuit is not asking for eligibility rules to be thrown out altogether. Rather, it's seeking to change the red shirt rules, which permit athletes to practice, train, and play in a limited number of games in their sport for 1 to 5 seasons, instead of allowing just full participation over all 5 years of college. So they want all 5 years. Like, they don't want the limitations of, remember back in the old days, it was like you can't play more than 3 games. If you do, then you've blown a whole year of eligibility. The player's attorney that represented Diego Pavia, he is representing these players for this lawsuit. So we'll see what happens with this, but it's another story of folks just wanting 5, 6, 7 years of eligibility, and at some point you got to cut it off. You got to get on with your life, guys.
I know, but maybe I'm in the minority without giving this a whole lot of thought and exploring implications and how this affects maybe kids coming out of high school. Is this going to limit their scholarship opportunities if you get a lot of these? But without thinking about any of that, am I in the minority saying I don't have a problem with it if they get 5 years of playing?
Well, no. I mean, you're not. I mean, that's your opinion. I just feel like they're given so many more opportunities now, and what's happening is I'm seeing, and just like you are, I'm seeing a lot of really talented young men not get the same opportunities coming out of high school.
That would be my fear.
Because everybody is going the transfer portal route.
Yep.
I mean, it is really affecting. First off, the pandemic just absolutely wreaked havoc with a lot of juniors and seniors during that time in high school, not only because of the emotional and the mental situations that they had to go through because they did remote learning and they didn't have any social activities during that whole year and a half. But if you played high school football and you were a very good player, you couldn't go to camps. Schools were canceling camps, which meant coaches couldn't see you. And yeah, they can look at your film, but a lot of those deals are consummated when they see you come into your camp. They get that one-on-one time, things of that nature. Those kids, they got like really left out in the cold during the pandemic. And so now what's happening because of the transfer portal, I'm seeing a lot of really talented young football players graduate high school, and they're not getting those same opportunities, especially at bigger schools.
Are they going the JUCO route? Because I would think, and I haven't asked enough, but it would actually help maybe the JUCO guys because they had played at a step above, kind of serving as a minor league feeder program. Where it used to be a lot of kids, they couldn't qualify or you're under the radar and you went to a junior college to play. You had to remember the Prop 48, all of that. You went, you tried to get your core classes, your coursework done, then you could be accepted. I wonder if now that serves as kind of that intermediary level, whereas maybe a guy's not out of the portal because we've seen Andy Kennedy be able to utilize it in basketball with UAB. If you can't compete with $1 million, $2 million for this player, go and find some really quality players that have college experience, but you go and you get them at the JUCO level.
True. And of course, now you just have a situation. Let's take Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is not going to go into a lot of people's houses because that's just something that he's never really cared to do. But now because of the transfer portal, he can sit at home. It's just like ordering from Amazon. I mean, he could sit there and look at who's available in the transfer portal. Okay, what's our budget? How much money we got? We'll call that Conrad Van Order kid from Hayden High School.
Yeah, Dave, go.
Or whatever. I mean,
Go feel him out. See if he's interested.
Yeah.
See what they want.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the problem that I have with this because at some juncture, because the percentage of any of these college football players making it into the NFL is so small and so minute that you better have a plan when that falls, whether you get injured or you don't make it in the big time. Like, you better invest wisely. You better get an education. And I know I'm sounding like a father here, but I am. And that's the advice that I give to my boys, and just like I would give to anybody else, because you need to plan for the future. And you staying in school for 5 or 6 years, unless you are one of those rare commodities that can get multiple $1 million a year, now it's a completely different animal. But the majority of people that are looking for that extra year, all you're doing is putting off the inevitable, which is getting on with your life.
You just said father, and I go back to my college days, and I actually had a really cool academic advisor that explained to my dad that the 4 year curriculum was kind of a thing of the past, and it was more realistic to say a 5-year curriculum. That was good for me. Dad didn't want to hear it, but it was good for me. He didn't like the amount of hours that I was taking. One of the quarters towards the end of my college career, 5.5 years. It was solid. Yeah, Conrad, not everybody went to class, studied early in their career before they had that aha moment and reality hit them and said, you know what, Landry, you ought to study.
I was just a good little boy. Apple on the desk every day.
Yeah. 5 years, though, on the surface, I don't have a problem with it. Something tells me, though, if it goes anything like a lot of these other lawsuits, Pat, they're going to get what they want. And this attorney is going to be the new Thomas Mars.
Yeah, very well could. So once again, we have lawsuits of flying. 1-800-239.
Save it for basketball season.
Yeah, 1-800-239-WJOX. Let's go to the phones and talk this morning. And then, of course, then we'll get to your text messages as well.
Something tells me we won't be talking on this one. Hey, Chris.
Hello. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Roll Tide, baby. Oh, man.
Do you mean that, or are you just being sarcastic?
I mean that to the fullest, unlike apparently some of the Bama faithful who were already ready to throw away the program.
What happened to the standard, man?
Yeah, what is the Bama standard now?
What is it these days? Play hard for 4 quarters?
Do you all even pay attention? You have to find that standard. We can't keep that. You know, that same standard that we keep mentioning. You know, that was the Saban era, right? I mean, are we still in the Saban era, or are we in the DeBoer era?
You are definitely in the DeBoer era.
We're definitely in the DeBoer era.
Yeah, there's not a gray area there.
Mm-hmm. But so we need that. So we need to stop saying the standard is the standard, when despite the stuff we need different eras. My point being is this: the fan base that's already ready to throw away the season altogether when the coverage not full and everything's ahead of you. I'm gonna need y'all to give me all the tickets y'all bought and give me and to work my shift so I can go to the games, win or lose on Saturday. Hell, I don't care if they lose 9 games this season. One thing for sure, I'm gonna still be a Bama fan and still hope for these boys when they're up and they're down, because I mean, even Saban has said to himself, if y'all would have learned anything after the Ole Miss loss one year, he said when they lose, the best time to be in the having adversity is the best time they need to support.
Yeah, but remember, Chris, this is not the Saban era. Yeah, but I assume everybody learned something from it, especially when he told y'all to not lead the games early because you're up by 40, but they didn't learn the damn thing. I mean, here we are now. But and I hate to say I was right, but apparently Pat got past the digital footprint of an upset when I said it. But I don't want to be right, but yet no one really pay attention when I listen to what I say. So that's one thing. Can we all get a common agreement though? The sad but good thing happened over college football week 1 is the unfortunate retirement of Coach Lee Corso. And I honestly want to talk about, I think we had to really have a full discussion on, is should someone take the headgear mantle of who would take it? I would say just pick Pat and just let it roll. What do you guys think?
In my personal opinion,
you,
I think they should, retire that. I mean, that was his. He made it iconic, and it just wouldn't seem right for them to move on. But that's just my opinion.
No, man.
I feel like the field goal kicking thing, and I know that's got advertising dollars attached to it, that's kind of become the new
That's McAfee's thing.
segment deal that
Yeah.
Maybe fills that void. I don't know. It's not the same thing, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and maybe this is over exaggerating a little bit, but it almost feels like it'd be a little disrespectful to Coach Corso if you let somebody
sure.
else do the headgear thing, right? That
Right.
that was iconic for him. Yeah, move on, do something else, come up with do the field goal, whatever. Yeah, let it be.
That would be like Kalen DeBoer walking on the sidelines on Saturday in a houndstooth hat. Well, not like it, but I'm trying to draw a comparison.
No,
that would not go over well.
You're right. No.
It all
Guess we're
comes
not
back-
getting those black helmets this year either. I just feel like this would be bad timing for all that, wouldn't it?
That would yeah, not be good.
What if they did that against ULM?
Oh boy.
You know what? If there was a time to do it, this might be the time.
You
Here's
couldn't
the-
get more frustrated.
Here's the
could
thing:
you?
if they go out there and they beat ULM by 60 points, they might not ever take them off again.
Our energy was low. Our effort was
They-
terrible. We got these black helmets in, and boy, Katie barred the door.
You got to look good to play good.
I got a team of warriors. We're not losing again.
I don't know, based on the fact that they're trying to save as much money as they can down there, because you never know when the rainy day might become a thunderstorm and they might have to pay somebody off. Don't know if they'll be buying any additional equipment.
Well, that was
different helmets.
Hey, that was before Go Build Navy,
That's
Alabama,
true.
whatever that is.
Yeah, that's when the U.S. Navy came in and saved the Alabama football program.
Is that our tax dollars? Do you know that?
It would have to, right?
Just
right?
wondering.
I mean, it's
have
military.
we, in essence, paid for that logo on the field at Bryant-Denny?
Mm-hmm. Just like you paid when the U.S. Army sponsored The Rock. Yeah. Kirby Smart is not happy.
What?
Yeah, he's not happy. He pulled a Saban yesterday.
Oh, Kirby.
Well, I'll tell you what he says. He's going after the fixed. You remember back in the good old days when the Nick Saban era in Tuscaloosa, coach would come and do this for leaving early? Remember that?
Yeah.
People like Conrad would leave early to go to the fraternity house and drink beer and watch other football games and not watch their Tide. Remember that?
No, they claim the Tide things to do. I'm not going to support those guys that have worked so hard in practice and are giving max effort during a game. I'm going to go to the fraternity house and.
Well, apparently now Georgia fans are experiencing the same malaise that happened to people like Conrad during Alabama's incredible run during Nick Saban.
Careful, Kirby. This is what happens before the fall.
With the game in hand on Saturday, attendance for the second half was noticeably sparse between Marshall and Georgia. Following the victory, head coach Kirby Smart was asked how he felt about the fans' attendance. Smart's response to the question was rather interesting. Quoting, "Yeah, you said it, I didn't," end of quote, when Smart responded to a question about the sparsity of attendance in the second half. The Bulldogs head coach has always encouraged fan involvement during home football games and even stated at one point last season that he was disappointed with the fan base's engagement during a game and urged them to bring more energy the following week. Fan participation in the second half of blowouts has been a point of emphasis for many great teams, including those that were in Tuscaloosa. Now, the Georgia 247 website, they actually got a further quote from Kirby Smart in regards to the fans typically staying for the whole game, or at least the students spending time at the game. This is a direct quote from the Georgia 247 site. This is from Kirby. "I think people should love to be at Georgia home games because there are only so many of them. It's limited opportunities. It's the same thing about our players. We don't incentivize them to run the ball by saying, we'll go up in your NIL if you run the ball. You got to do it because you want to be great. You got to do it because you want to be different. And if our fans want to be great and different, then they'll do it." End of quote.
Oh, I understand what he's saying. You just can't have it both ways. I'll counter with, okay, the 9 conference games, that's good. Adding a 9th conference game, that eliminates some of this. And then if you're going to play that 10th against another Power 4 foe, that helps. But if I asked any of you, Molly in particular, but if I asked any of you, all right, I'm giving you Taylor Swift concerts, you're going to have to go and you're going to have to brave it in the heat of the day in wherever. And it's going to be really hot, you would go.
Absolutely.
If I said,
Wouldn't miss a minute.
Molly, I got 2 tickets, same place, same temperature, but you're going to go and see Taylor Swift's cover band or warm-up band. Probably changes.
Just a little bit, yeah. Don't know if I'd be there.
Yeah, how apt you are to go.
Yeah.
Or your willingness to go, or how, get it. Nobody wants to sit there and watch Austin P. Nobody wants to sit there and watch Marshall.
No, I look, I don't disagree with you. I understand in an ideal world, right, the fans stay the entire 4 quarters and it's great and you all get to celebrate in the stands. But that's just, I understand why it's frustrating for a coach or for players to not have that support for 4 quarters, but it's just not. It's not realistic with college kids.
Not these days. And the access that people have and how much inventory you have on television where you can go in the comfort of your fraternity house, your RV, your condo, wherever, and go and watch the rest of the, because you know your team's going to win. You've enjoyed all the tailgate.
I was about to say, I think the one thing that does help this, at least compared to years past, is that now that you can get alcohol in a stadium, I think that keeps a lot of people in the stadium for longer. Mm-hmm. I think that is a benefit of that.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, still, but with 19-year-old kids, yeah, like you said, you're going to go to the fraternity house, you're going to go to the bars, you're going to go do this, that, the other. That's what they're going to do.
Especially if you've been standing there for 2 hours in the blazing sun and you were forced to, in some scenarios, wear a blazer and your core temperature is about 120 degrees and you're about to have a heat stroke.
Yep.
Yeah. First opportunity, you're probably heading back.
And it's not going to get any better this weekend. They play Austin P. So it was Marshall last weekend, Austin P this week. So Kirby going down the same road Nick did. Could be a sign.
Yep. That's what happens. You start chastising the student section, and then the championships
The
start.
end days.
He should get out while he can and come to Tuscaloosa. Just go
You
ahead.
think so?
Get ahead. Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. But
You think Lanning would win a title at Georgia?
That's a good question. I think he'd have a good chance.
think he'd ever walk away from the Phil Knight money?
No, that'd be tough.
I mean,
And as we discussed, I mean, 70 degrees and this time of year, 75 degrees out there.
Here's the
playing football.
domino effect.
Tough to
Kirby
beat
goes to
that.
Bama.
Mhm.
Lanning goes to Georgia. DeBoer goes to
back the North.
Oregon.
Yep.
There you go. That works out for everyone.
And meanwhile, Lane Kiffin is on line 2 waiting for Greg Byrne.
Still waiting.
Been on hold
It's going to
forever.
ring any second.
I've been on hold forever.
Yeah, I had some Ole Miss people text me yesterday wanting to know, is that buyout really $69.3 million for DeBoer? But yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
Yep.
There's not
And-
gray area there.
And if it turns
what
out
it
they
is.
don't have to pay him that amount, you're not going to be able to hire him anyways because there's something else going on. And it's probably a legal matter.
Lane Kiffin might chip in for the buyout if he could get the Alabama job.
Kidding. What's the guy that said he would ride a unicycle in Tuscaloosa without a seat?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to do a shout out to Crimson Convict. He has gone viral thanks
his-
to Molly Robinson.
With his poetry?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
We had a text this morning, bright and early, from Ty Richardson, our good friend from ESPN Radio in Arkansas. And he was just going on and on about Crimson Convict's poem.
So Cece's poem on our TikTok page has almost 45,000 views.
That's amazing.
That's what I'm talking
in
about.
what, 2 days?
Yeah.
Keep it up, Cece. We love
CC, we need 2 a week.
it. It's awesome.
We need 2 a week. Book in.
And that's just on TikTok, by the way.
Give us one on Reaction Monday and then one on Look Ahead Friday.
Do you think he's already prepared something for Monday? I was on a show yesterday afternoon, and they straight up asked me, if La Monroe does what they did back in 2007, is Kalen DeBoer the head coach on Monday? And I said, yes, he is. And they were floored. I'm like going, guys, what? I mean, there are no old wells in West Alabama. This is not Texas. This is not Texas A&M. I'm sorry. Yes, Alabama's a blue blood, but there are limits to even being a blue blood.
Man, if that happens, oh my goodness. Make sure you're good on water. Gather up all your ammo. Get to your place of safety, your bunker. Because the shrapnel will be everywhere.
Does Conrad dress up again? In
Maybe
war?
only cockroaches survive.
Does he do war paint again, like he did this weekend? Because they're playing the Indians, right?
Warhawks.
Warhawks. They used to be the Indians.
They
back
did.
in the day.
They did. And I'll allow you to still say that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Didn't know I had to clear that with the censors.
Yeah. People are sensitive about that these days. What would you wear? Let's go ahead and throw it out. We threw it out last week. You got a better chance of winning this one.
If Alabama loses to ULM, I'll come to work in my birthday suit. Like,
No, you can't do
No,
that.
we don't
Nobody
want it.
wants to see it.
Please,
Number one.
no.
Number two,
No.
you're going to be on a list.
Yeah.
Number three, who's going to do your job?
Now, their colors are the same, kind of the same as Florida State's.
can't do more face paint.
Yes, we can.
We got to mix it up.
Well, I still have a ton of face paint, so
Could
we can
you
do that too.
could you find something, Molly, where we adorn him? He just looks like a giant bird with a bunch of feathers.
Gladly.
Okay, be good.
Yeah, Warhawk. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Is this going to be a
And
weekly
we
thing
can paint
now?
his face.
It's going to be a weekly.
I
thing.
have so much face paint, you guys.
Just paint his chest.
Just do it all.
Yeah.
Arms, legs, everything.
You got to shave your chest.
It was itchy. Yeah.
And I got plenty of glitter.
You do
Just
have
saying.
plenty of
Got
glitter.
a
You did have
ton of
you did
glitter.
have a lot of glitter.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, he has been hot as fire the first couple of weeks of the college, and I'm referring to Brian Edwards from Vegas Insider. He joins us next. He gives us some plays for the weekend. All that straight ahead on Three Man Front. Each week on Three Man Front, we get an opportunity to talk to our good friend Brian Edwards from MajorWager.com. Also, Vegas Insider joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Brian, I hope you're well. You have been hot as fire the first couple of weeks of the college football season, including all that wonderful Maction that you were able to use and cover.
Yes.
That was some good stuff.
Yeah, all three of them were pretty 60. They Toledo in backdoor fashion. I'll take it.
Yeah, I texted you during that game, and you were very quick with me on the text line because
was I short?
Yeah, you were very short with me, which told me that you were nervous about the potential outcome, and I was jinxing you, and so I didn't the rest of the afternoon. So, but it worked out. So I can take a Sunil hit. So I get it. No problem.
I think my mind was in 18 different places. I wasn't trying to be a jerk.
No. First off, you were not being you were very quick, and that just told me, okay, yeah, he's concentrating on things, and I'm probably jinxing him by even texting this to him. It's like a no-hitter. Like, don't talk about
Brian,
it.
as a big Florida fan, how shaken up were you with Florida State and their resurgence and what they did to Alabama at Doak, which we're affectionately calling the choke at Doak?
Not nearly as much as you guys.
Well, more Conrad, not me and Landrum.
Yeah, me and Pat.
You guys are journalists.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, I mean, I actually won money off that game, so I'm not concerned whatsoever.
I had the under. I'm good.
Yeah.
I loved your tweet of that's Jimbo range on the buyout. Did Byrne have to do that kind of commitment just to get him? Because if not, that's a terrible contract.
Brian, that they've given him an extension since he's been there.
What?
Yeah.
How did like after last year?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was in the works anyway. But yeah, no, he's through 2031 now. He's owed $77 million the remainder of his contract, and they'd had to pay 90%, which is $69.3 million.
Once again, Brian, God bless America.
Yeah, absolutely.
For college football coaches. Yeah,
greatest country in the world. All right.
Jimmy Sexton's his agent. Let me guess.
I think so. Maybe.
Is he?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Shall we? We've got Iowa State taking on Iowa. And Iowa State, I believe, is a 3-point favorite. Guys, this is an in-state rivalry. What do you have to say about this game, if anything?
Yeah, I like Iowa State here. And Iowa that doesn't but on that be due big favor that was aggressive Cyclones. I will this year and yards. Albany and FCS. They had lost 6 meetings, so
matchup. Vandy, they didn't play anybody. Who was it? Charleston in week 1. They won that game comfortably. Virginia Tech didn't look that bad. A little bit of maybe a game that you could characterize as a rock fight as they took on South Carolina in the loss. Virginia Tech at home. This is a revenge game for the Gobblers as they lost on the road in Nashville. You like Vandy in this one.
Yeah, I made Vandy -3. I think they're the better team after winning 45-3 last week. With the 8 wins, they've been with 2 out. Virginia, they play, whereas now 16 and under Brent going to be try. I think Diego Pavia gets another dub, and Vandy goes to 2-0.
All right, so Missouri is an under-touchdown favorite against their bitter rival, the Kansas Jayhawks. Your thoughts on this border war between these two, and do you like Mizzou and the points?
I am laying the 6 with Mizzou. Pretty confident that this was a strong team in all the position groups. My question mark was quarterback, but Bo Prabula looked outstanding, 23 of 28. Now, albeit against soft cupcake FCS competition, but 23 of 28, 283 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 65 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and that was only on 10 attempts. Missouri's now won 11 in a row at home and 17 of 18. Now, that doesn't help us because we got a cover here. But I made this spread 10. I think Missouri wins by 2 touchdowns.
Interesting. This next team, who we've been reluctant to recognize as a top 15 team in the preseason, Brett Bielema, all of Brett Bielema in Illinois. You like the Fighting Illini. They go on the road. That's a tough matchup as they take on Duke.
Yeah, it's not Cameron Indoor Stadium for hoops. It's not that big of a raucous environment. And since Brett Bielema took over, Illinois has only been a road favorite 3 times. Spread all week. They have last 16 games. I think I made Illinois 4.5. I think they win by a touchdown.
All right, we continue with Brian Edwards. We got a couple more seconds remaining. Hit on a couple of the NFL picks coming up as the NFL gets underway tomorrow, and a couple that you might like this weekend.
Yeah, however it works, whatever's best for you, odds-wise, number-wise. I think you go Commanders, Eagles, either in a teaser or a moneyline parlay.
Okay.
Get to a Jalen Hurts first half specific anytime touchdown plus